The Order of the Skull and Bones. Okay, it's something we've had some videos on in the past. If you've not heard of them, I'd recommend getting this book, watching some longer videos that explain what Skull and Bones is in general before you watch this video. The video that I'm about to show you is a clip from our longer presentation, the extended edition of Utah's Secret Combinations. And it's a pretty long presentation, even though it just really just touches the surface of the topics. And so we wanted to kind of break up each of the segments up into smaller videos as well. But we'll have the link in the description for the entire presentation if you'd like to go and watch that after watching this short presentation on Skull and Bones in Utah. A lot of folks don't realize that actually there's two chapters of the Skull and Bones. The one that most, if you know about Skull and Bones, you know it's at Yale. But what few people realize is that there's one actually right here in Utah. And this presentation gets into a little bit of background of the Skull and Bones in general, the one at Yale that most people know about and what that means. And then I get into its connection to Utah. And so we'll be showing that video and encourage you to share that and get the word out on this, because we have to really understand why is it that our Republican conservative legislature keeps on voting to fund abortion? Why do they keep on increasing taxes? Why are they bringing Agenda 21 to Utah? Why are they paying the United Nations to have a conference in Utah? The list goes on and on and on. And why are these doing these things that they say that they're against, but they keep on voting to implement these things and to fund these things? Why is that? And so this video gives a brief explanation, helps us to kind of open up our eyes a little bit, as well as the entire presentation starts to get in that. But what we're doing as well is there's so much more, right? This is the full presentation is about an hour and a half, and it just scratches the surface. And so we're actually in the process of writing a book that goes into complete detail into the conspiracy in Utah, its history, and where it is today. We hope to have it out in the next couple of months. And but if you want to help out with that, we encourage you to make sure that you click on the subscribe button, you click on that bell to watch, make sure that you get notified of future videos. Also, a big help is by becoming a member of Defending Utah. You go to defendingutah.org and you click on that join tab and you become a member, you become a part of the community. You take part in a lot of the solutions that we offer at Defending Utah by becoming the most effective activist that you can be. And we encourage you, we invite you to donate and to help us with this project, to help us as the organization continue to grow and to have the successes that we have, because of donations like yours, we've been able to remove legislators from their committee positions, from organizations that they formed. We've been able to implement jury nullification and get a man released from 2 felony counts for defending his home and his family. We've been able to get cities to implement nullification, and the list goes on and on and on of things that we've been able to do. And the more that we can do as we grow and have more members and be able to get the videos out to more people. So encourage you to do that, share this, become a member today. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and here's our presentation on Skull and Bones in Utah. Okay, now let's move on to another tentacle of this Hydra beast and Skull and Bones. Okay, this is a part of the international part of the conspiracy.
This week, we look at an organization that has played a major role in American society and politics, Skull and Bones. The official story is that Skull and Bones, or the Order, was started in 1832 primarily by William Huntington Russell, with the help of Alphonso Taft as Chapter 322 of a German secret society. The speculation is that the Order was the Illuminati, but no positive proof has been found that it was. Since Russell studied at the University of Berlin and Skull and Bones became known as the Brotherhood of Death, it is likely that it was part of the Totenbund, or Order of Death, itself a descendant of the Illuminati. A telling clue of their origin, even though circumstantial, is the use of the term the Order, just as the Illuminati was known. The other co-founder of Skull and Bones, Alfonso Taft, played out a more overt influence on America by the positions he held. He became the Secretary of War and the Attorney General in the Grant administration. He ran for governor of Ohio but lost the race over his desire to see the Bible eliminated from the public schools. Of course, Taft's son, William Howard Taft, who was also a member of Skull and Bones, became president. He played the leading role in the establishment of the National Chamber of Commerce, which today plays a dominant role in promoting foreign entanglements under the guise of free trade, all of which is using patient gradualism to destroy American sovereignty.
Okay, so just like the Salt Lake Chamber of Commerce, we have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce working on the same thing, to destroy American independence and to forge us into a world system, just like the Salt Lake Chamber is to get us into the national system. So Skull and Bones Secret Society, we have Republicans and Democrats. You look online, there's this, during the 2004 presidential election, you have George W. Bush versus John Kerry, and they were both members of Skull and Bones, and they refused to talk about what that means, and that there were lots of secrets that they couldn't tell. And in fact, one of the initiation rites to be a part of the Skull and Bones is that they lie naked in a coffin with another man to confess all of their sins, all the things that they've done before. So, you know, this organization, it's part of the occult, it's the satanic, and it is part of this global conspiracy to destroy freedom. So it talked about, where is the chapter? When you talk about Skull and Bones, you think of Yale. But there's actually a second chapter of Skull and Bones, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. We're talking about the conspiracy in Utah. And so we have in Utah, in 1910, an unnamed Yale alumni comes to the University of Utah and forms a chapter of Skull and Bones here. In fact, when we gave a presentation on it, one of the people attending the presentation said, oh, my father-in-law was actually a member of that, and so they donated his Skull and Bones sweater for us to be able to show off. And so this is part of the Utonian. This is the University of Utah's yearbook, and so there's many pages of this. And in fact, in 2015 and 2018, the school paper actually interviewed members of the Skull and Bones Order. But because, of course, it's fair to assume that they operate the same way as the Yale organization, they can't tell who they are. They can't tell people who they are. So they came to the interview with the school newspaper dressed like this. So we've got some prominent, high-profile people in the state of Utah that have been a part of this chapter of Skull and Bones. You have former U.S. Senator Robert F. Bennett and Robert Hales. So you have another organization. In addition to Skull and Bones, we have the Bohemian Club and the Bohemian Grove.
So appreciate you joining us for this segment of our longer extended edition of Utah's Secret Combinations to help us better understand what's going on, why people are doing things that doesn't seem like they should be doing. If you want to watch the entire presentation, again, the link will be in the description. And please subscribe to this channel. Click on that bell to make sure you get notifications for future videos. Again, that book I recommended in the beginning is America's Secret Establishment, an Introduction to the Order of Skull and Bones by Anthony Sutton. That so far has been the go-to, most detailed book on what the Order of Skull and Bones is all about, with lots of scans of documents, and the book that we're working on that will have a lot of that information, as well as details on the Skull and Bones in Utah that we didn't have time to fit into this presentation, and just tons more connections and information outside of the Skull and Bones in Utah as well. A little sneak peek at the end of that video kind of referenced the Bohemian Grove as well. So just as a little sneak peek of the full video, as well as what we plan on doing, what will be in the book. It's going to be about 300 pages out. In addition to the book itself, it'll have scans of original documents and things that you can look through yourself as well, in addition to the book. So if you want to become a part of the solution, we encourage you, please go to defendingutah.org and become a member today. Support our efforts, help us to grow, and we'll see you next time.